Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be back. I was here, I think, 20 years ago when it was the planetarium, and I got to see Saturn through the telescope, which looked so fake. I couldn't believe it. As mentioned, I'm Rebecca Alty, the Minister of Crown-Indigenous Relations. It's a particular honor to join you as a guest on the traditional territories of the peoples of Treaty 7 and to begin today's gathering with a land acknowledgement. Today, we're gathered on the traditional territories of the peoples of Treaty 7 in southern Alberta, including the Blackfoot Confederacy, including the Siksika, the Kainai, the Piikani Nations, the Tsuut'ina Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda Nations, including the Chiniki, the Bearspaw, and the Goodstoney Nations. We're also acknowledging that Calgary is home to the historic Northwest Métis and to the citizens of the Métis Nation of Alberta, Districts 5 and 6. It's a pleasure to be here in Calgary at such an exciting time alongside Senator, Lieutenant Governor, my colleagues, Minister Miller, and PS Secretary Hogan, Minister Fir, CEO David, and other Contemporary Calgary staff, members of the provincial and municipal governments, generous donors, and all distinguished guests who have gathered today for this important announcement. It's now my privilege to introduce someone who has dedicated her life to serving her community and to sharing Blackfoot knowledge, ceremony, and culture with generosity, wisdom, and grace. Elder Gertrude Spear Chief, Utski which means bluebird woman, is a respected spiritual leader and elder of the Kainai Nation. Throughout her life, she's been a dedicated advocate for her people, for education, and for future generations, generously sharing her knowledge and helping to build understanding between Indigenous and non-Indigenous communities. We're honored that she's with us today to begin this important gathering in a good way. Gertrude, thank you for being here with us and for sharing your wisdom. Please join me in warmly welcoming Elder Gertrude Spear Chief to offer a smudge, a blessing, and to welcome us to Blackfoot territory.
Thank you very much. I'm honored and humbled to be part of the art world, the beauty of our Creator. I will pray in my language, the Blackfoot language. Thank you for the tobacco. Thank you very much. And our sweetgrass. Ai apsitoki stepata piopi o kinuhata pe in skatsimata noxistikoi and hamoxi datu mianum axi akukanoya and oxistikoi o kisipata pio apsitoki o kiketokan skatsimata noxistikoi amoxi to yixan okamoxis canips itipstapesixan og mo David abixtonna taxtapi wamuni nawa data bespomuka kanok og ikaxitapi wak and iki tamixtikuan ok xistikoi og genok kithunawa muxpinanan noxistikoi an ok akape tama piwan oxistikoi og genegin han stop way in skatsimotistipeta piopi axo da boakat It's a better person, it's not a stupid, honey, come on.
So thank you very much, Gertrude. What a beautiful way to start this day. And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kelly Streit. I serve as the co-chair of the Board of Directors of Contemporary Calgary, and it is a great privilege, alongside my colleague and my dear friend, Carol Ryder. Carol and I have been working together for more than 30 years, and Carol and I have shared a lot of adventures over those decades, So when I say standing here today together is a special moment, I truly mean it. I joined the board of Contemporary Calgary in November of 2019, and what a journey it's been, hey David? Honestly, today feels like one of those rare moments when you can look back at how far you've come, and at the same time you can see how exciting the road ahead is. For as long as I've lived in Calgary, I've served at the privilege of many arts organizations as a volunteer, and I can honestly say that there's nowhere I'd rather hang my hat than here at Contemporary Calgary. This is a remarkable organization led by an exceptional board, many of who are here today, so thank you. And under the outstanding leadership of David Leinster, the staff are outstanding, and David I will also consider a friend. I've always believed that great cities need great art, not as decorations, but as a part of their identity. Art gives a city its imagination, its energy, and sometimes its nerve. And today is a very big day for that belief. Here today, especially on one of the busiest days of the year. The parade blocked us all, and it's been tricky to get here, but your presence says a great deal about your commitment to arts and culture in this city. And today, we're going to build a future together. Today is not simply an investment in bricks and mortar. It's an investment in artists and audiences and community. The cultural life of this city for generations to come. Because infrastructure is not only about how we move through a city, it's about what makes a city worth living in. And with that, it's my great pleasure to introduce my fellow co-chair and dear friend, Carol Ryder.
Thank you, Kelly, for working beside me as a highly creative and visionary leader and esteemed co-chair. You make life fun when things get tough. Many of you know that my relationship with Contemporary Calgary stretches back to the organization's earliest days, when I had the privilege of serving as one of its first co-chairs, almost 14 years ago. At that time, I served alongside someone who also believed deeply in the vision of this organization and helped guide its formation through the amalgamation that created Contemporary Calgary. Today, Senator Daryl Fridhandler continues to be a tremendous champion for arts and culture in Alberta, and it seems especially fitting that someone who helped shape our beginnings is here to celebrate the exciting new chapter. Please join me in warmly welcoming our Master of Ceremonies and a good friend of Contemporary Calgary, Alberta Senator Daryl Fridhandler.
Well, thank you, Carol. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. This is a fantastic day for everybody that's been associated over the years with Contemporary Calgary. I'm just flipping through by time until I can find the script here. As I should say, wow, good afternoon, everybody. Yahoo, this is a great way to start Stampede. It's a real pleasure to welcome you all and have the privilege of serving as your Master of Ceremonies this afternoon. Like many of you, I've had the privilege of watching Contemporary Calgary grow from an ambitious idea into one of Canada's most exciting cultural institutions. I just have to slip back to 14 years ago when a bunch of us gathered at one of these many gatherings in Jackie Flanagan's house to have brunch, a number of people that are associated with the arts in the city. And at that time, there existed IMCA, which was the Institute of Modern Contemporary Art, some of you may remember, the Art Gallery of Calgary, and the Museum of Contemporary and Modern Art, which is the Triangle Gallery that was at City Hall. And I raised the issue, I said, we've got all of these, small organizations that are playing in the same space, and not that consolidation is always good, but why don't we just merge and get together and all be behind the same idea? I had a little bit of resistance, but over a bit of time, this gelled into a merger, I think, within about a year, and a lot of time spent on looking at locations around the city until it seemed like the planetarium was a good spot. So I just wanted to give you a bit of that background of what's going on here. And there are many people in the room today that were part of those original boards or part of, making this all work. And again, it's just been a great project to date. The arts have always been an essential part of Alberta's story. They challenge us, inspire us, preserve our histories, and help us imagine our future. Our province is home to extraordinary artists, creators, and cultural organizations whose work is found on stages and in performance halls, in galleries, and on bookshelves, not only across Canada but around the world. During the time I spend in Ottawa, I've also tried in small ways to celebrate Alberta's remarkable creative community. One example that some of you are aware of is that I bought a map for my office of Alberta, because when people come in and they say I'm from here or there, I know Calgary and the region, I know Edmonton, Minnesota, but when they say I'm from Hippotsville, I'm going to say, where's that? So they need to point out, but then I looked at the map and it was kind of boring. So I talked to one of my gallery friends, Yves Trepagny. I said, I need an artist to kind of bring this map to life. And so I ended up commissioning Chris Miller, who some of you may know, a great Alberta artist, and he painted over 90 images of people, artists, politicians, sports figures, and other iconic things, the Easter egg in Vegreville, the spaceship in Vulcan. This map it's 5 feet high. It's wonderful. If you want to knock on my door in Ottawa when we're sitting, I'm happy to kind of show it to you. But it's just, allows me to continue to connect with what's going on in the province. Today's gathering is another reminder that investing in the arts and culture is an investment in our communities, in education, in economic development, and in the stories and commitments that define us as Albertans and Canadians. It's now my pleasure to welcome the Honourable Marc Miller, Canada's Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture and Official Languages, to make his special announcement today. Please join me in welcoming Minister Marc Miller.
Happy Stampede, everyone. This isn't my regular getup. I'm a greenhorn from Montreal. The shirt, and thanks for the shirt's from Saddle Lake, and it was given to me by the people of Saddle Lake, so it's a bit of a tribute, not only Albertans, but the people of Saddle Lake. And the belt buckle honors the PPCLI, so there's lots of Easter eggs on me today. And thank you, Senator Fridhandler, for the introduction. I do want to thank Elder Gertrude Spear Chief for welcoming us to your land. It's an honor for me to be here with you today. We announced as a government about a year ago a $51 billion investment in building Canada strong. People immediately think about the housing crisis and the importance of making sure we get affordable houses built. Bridges, roads, hospitals. The tendency is to think sometimes less about culture, and that's unfortunate because it is so important to who we are as a people, and for Albertans, what Contemporary Calgary is to Albertans. I'm going to mangle, like I always do, Winston Churchill, but Sir Winston Churchill refused to cut culture during the war because he said, and again I'm paraphrasing, so apologize if I completely massacre it, but what are we fighting for if we don't have culture? And I think that is an important reflection as we look at the difficult times that we're in and the investments that we need to make sure that places like these are resilient and that they reflect something that is truly contemporary. Rebecca mentioned this, I think when we were all kids, if you lived in a relatively urban area, everyone remembers as a school kid going to a planetarium and looking up and seeing what is now a terrible resolution of the stars, because everything is so much more accessible online, and kids don't have that experience. And so these amazing buildings that were built for purpose and were deemed contemporary are less so these days. And so they need to freshen up. And David approached me. We had made, the federal government had made a commitment a while back to make sure that Contemporary Calgary was properly supported. This is about fairness to investing in arts and culture, but also about fairness for Alberta infrastructure in the cultural sector. And just a couple of weeks ago, Minister Fir and I were in Banff announcing $25 million in the Canada Council for the Arts over 5 years, specifically to support Albertan artists. And so this is not a one-off. This is about making sure Albertans get their fair share, but also the amazing cultural infrastructure that exists not only in Calgary but around the province gets the support of the federal government because it's important, and it's important, again, as I mentioned earlier, to who we are. So today, I'll cut to the chase. I'm proud to announce up to $40 million from the federal government to help transform Calgary's Centennial Planetarium into a vibrant space. You're clapping for yourselves, really, because a lot of you are really pushy and know how to get things done. You know, there's hey, Greg, it's great to see this done, but you can't get things done if you don't ask and if you don't push. And it's really a tribute to the people around the room who made this happen. A lot of our announcements, there are rooms filled like these, so it's a tribute to the passion that you bring to getting this this building freshened up. And the new LED dome that, you know, people see these things around the world, and why shouldn't Calgary have something like that? So part of this will be partnering with other folks, and they can speak to them, but this is something that will further preserve the distinctive heritage of this space, and I'm just proud to be a small part of it. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, and thanks in helping us build an even stronger Canada. Je remercie infiniment tout le monde.
Well, happy Stampede, Minister Miller. You needed a good one. What an extraordinary announcement, and what an extraordinary day for Contemporary Calgary, for Alberta, and for arts and culture across Canada. Thank you for your leadership and for your commitment to investing in projects such as this that strengthen our communities and make them better places to live and work, and to preserve our shared cultural heritage for generations to come. It's now my pleasure to welcome someone who has been a tremendous advocate for Calgary and for this project. As Parliamentary Secretary to Canada's Minister of Energy and Natural Resources and as Member of Parliament for Calgary Confederation, Corey Hogan has worked tirelessly on behalf of his constituents and has been an enthusiastic supporter of the transformational work happening here at Contemporary Calgary. Please join me in welcoming Corey Hogan.
Thanks. It is so great to be here. It is so great to follow up the announcement that Marc just made here. $40 million, that is going to be life-changing money, I think, for a lot of Calgarians, because they'll be able to engage with the arts in updated facilities, and it's just going to support an ecosystem that's so vital to Calgary's vibrancy. And so it's a great day for our community. It is a pleasure to be here with my colleagues. It's a pleasure to be here with the representatives of provincial municipal governments, distinguished guests for this important announcement. Infrastructure investments change lives. They create safe communities, they create gathering spaces, green buildings, initiatives that deliver on environmental goals, public transit, better connect communities of all sizes and locales, and they lay the groundwork that's needed to make housing developments possible too. Infrastructure builds communities, but infrastructure of the cultural type also builds creativity. It builds curiosity, it builds passion, it builds lives. And funding for this project is going to build lives. The planetarium had many lives, we've talked about it, and this project is the next step in helping Contemporary Calgary continue to deliver high-quality programming, events, exhibitions to Calgarians. It integrates it with the community. This project will further draw visitors to our city with the installation of Canada's first flat-floored LED dome, first of its kind dedicated entirely to contemporary art installations. So I just want to say congratulations to David and the whole team. Thank you to our other funding partners here. It just cannot happen without people working together. I think this country works best when we all work together. And I want to tell you just a little bit of a story about me with contemporary art. And I love contemporary art. My favorite piece is by an artist called Robert Morris, and it's called Box with the Sound of Its Own Making. And it's an exhibit. I saw it first at the Museum of Metropolitan Art in New York. And what it is, it's this box, and you can hear the sawing, you can hear the hammering, you can hear the building of it. And you sit there and you think, like, well, how could this be the whole sound of the making? I mean, there was the cutting of the wood. You had to put the tape with the recording in the box before you sealed the box. And you think about it. But building does have milestones. There is milestone. And this is a milestone here today. It is incredible what we get to celebrate today, but we are in the box of its own making, and there is more work to be done. I know there was work for generations before to build the art scene that we have here in Calgary. I'm so proud to be here. We will keep collaborating with partners, keep investing in infrastructure projects across the country, make a difference for Canadians. Thank you all for coming today. Thank you for celebrating the arts. This is an incredible day. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Corey. Thanks for all the work you've done in support of Contemporary Calgary. As Carol mentioned earlier, many people have contributed with almost zealous commitment over a long period of time to bring us to this moment. One of those people has been with us in this project almost since its beginning. Long before becoming president and CEO of Contemporary Calgary in 2018, David Leinster was part of the original volunteer leadership that imagined a new future for the historic Centennial Planetarium. I kind of wonder why he would have given up his other job to come to this fledgling operation. But he did, and he helped champion the vision, build community support, and advocate for what's become one of Canada's most important ambitious cultural transformation projects. Since joining the organization, David has led Contemporary Calgary through a remarkable period of growth, expanding its programs, partnerships, audiences, and impact while advancing the vision for the Centennial Planetarium Transformation Project. Please join me in welcoming the President and CEO of Contemporary Calgary, David Leinster.
Thanks so much. Now let me find my place. Here it is. One more page. Minister Miller. Oh, here I am. It feels particularly fitting to start my remarks with Yahoo. maybe one from everybody. Yahoo for $3 million. There we go. I've never really understood the Yahoo thing, but this morning I figured it out. This will be a memorable stampede. Minister Miller, Parliamentary Secretary Hogan, friends, supporters, artists, donors, thank you for being here on this remarkable day. We're together in one of the city's most iconic landmarks, and just 2 days ago, this building very quietly celebrated its 59th birthday on July 1st, 1967. The Centennial Planetarium opened part of Canada's centennial celebrations, a bold investment in science and culture and education in the future of our country. It was really built to inspire. Now today, nearly 6 decades later, we gather in that same spirit. This has served so many purposes, as our other speakers have mentioned, a planetarium. Then it was Calgary Science Center. And then after decades of inspiring curiosity, it sat vacant for almost 10 years. Then in 2013, the community of Calgary and the city of Calgary put out a simple but profound question: what the heck should we do with this building? And many of us looked at this extraordinary piece of architecture and saw something more than a building. We saw possibility. Long before a single work of art was installed here, this building was already a work of art. It's bold architecture. It challenges your perspective. The moment you walk through the door or get lost trying to get in through one, it asks you to think differently, to be curious, and to embrace the unexpected. And that's what contemporary art does. And over the past 5 years, Contemporary Calgary has had the privilege of proving what this building could become, a place where local, national, and international artists bring people together through creativity, through conversation, and new ways of seeing the world. Today's announcement, it allows us to take that vision to its fullest expression. And if you look at the screen, it will start by building a new welcome entrance pavilion just on the other side of that wall. new education spaces, galleries, a rooftop gathering space, and the restoration of this magnificent dome, which will transform into Canada's first LED dome, and one of the only ones in the world that features and centers contemporary artists. An outdoor sculpture park that extends the experience. It was hard to park today. It's going to get harder because we're going to turn that into a sculpture park, so visiting the gallery starts from the outside in our streets of our communities. It will transform downtown Calgary. What excites us so much is also about how we're building it. The Government of Canada really challenged us to think bigger and to imagine how an iconic historic building almost entirely made of concrete could be a model of sustainability and art environment. And the result we think is extraordinary. With this renovation, we're increasing the building's floor area by nearly 60% while reducing its energy consumption by more than 40%. And it bears repeating, we're more than doubling the space and cutting energy by more than 40%. And that is, to the best of our knowledge, the first Canadian geothermal net zero gallery or museum that exists here. The project demonstrates that heritage conservation and environmental leadership, they are not competing ideas. They can and they should go hand in hand. Minister Miller, thank you for your leadership and your team's leadership to support the project and for championing its importance. And to Parliamentary Secretary Hogan, thank you for your friendship and your advocacy and your commitment. When we first talked, you said, we got to get this done, and I really appreciate you. I'd also like to express our sincere gratitude to the Honourable Gregor Robertson, Minister responsible for Housing, Infrastructure and Communities Canada. While Minister Robertson couldn't be here today, this is his money. And we're deeply appreciative of him and his team, including DM Haluka and ADM Waring and the entire team in infrastructure who took every one of my calls, and there were a lot of them. Thank you for your incredible partnership and dedication in bringing this vision forward. Today's investment represents more than funding. It's about confidence. Confidence in Calgary, confidence in artists, in culture, and confidence that great public spaces continue to matter. And I also want to acknowledge our partners. We're very grateful to have the Government of Alberta and my friend Minister Tanya Fir, who made a $40 million commitment. Most of you were here a few years ago. Thank you so much, Minister Fir. To the City of Calgary and my colleagues for entrusting us with this extraordinary building and for $10 a year rent. It's really, really wonderful to have this space, and for your investments and how you will continue to invest in this building. Thank you for your championship of all of the arts projects happening in our city, totaling almost $1 billion when you add them up. This has not happened before. Together, the investments and commitments made to date towards this project mean that we have now invested and secured more than $115 million towards this project. That deserves a round of applause. But it's not about this building. It's not about concrete or steel. It's about people. It's about all of you. It's about, every child who will walk through those doors and discover that art can change the way they see it. It's about artists who challenge us, who inspire us to help us better understand and each other. It's about creating a place where from any background you can learn, question, celebrate, and imagine together. Nearly 60 years ago, Canadians built this remarkable place for future generations, made possible by our federal government. Today, thanks to their leadership again, and the leadership of many governments and donors, and the commitment of our board, staff, volunteers, our families, and this incredible community, we have the privilege of ensuring it will continue to inspire generations to come. Thank you for believing in this vision.
Well, thank you very much, David. And a thank you's really not enough for everything you've done, the commitment over the last decade plus to keep this project moving. It's now my pleasure to welcome a steadfast champion of Alberta arts and culture. Earlier this year, Government of Alberta made a transformational investment in contemporary to strengthening arts, culture,
huge influence on Calgary. Is going to be reimagined as a destination for art, learning, and community gatherings for decades to come. Alberta's investment, alongside now the federal government's investment, represents our shared belief in Calgary's cultural sector and the value the arts brings to communities across our province of Alberta. As we know, arts and culture educates us, it builds community, it brings us together, and most importantly, it humanizes us. I think, David, it was probably almost 3 years ago to the day that I first met you, and I'd just been sworn into my role of arts culture status women minister, and I was pouring coffee at a Stampede breakfast, and you came up to me and said, "Hi, my name is David Leinster, we should talk." And I think Minister Miller said pushy, passionate, personable, persistent, all good peas. And it's amazing to think where we are here, fast forward 3 years. So thank you to the Government of Canada. Thank you to Minister Robertson, and thank you to Minister Miller. As you mentioned, this is our second great announcement in as many weeks, and we are deeply grateful and appreciative of the investment in Alberta and in the partnership and what can be done when different levels of government work together. So thank you very, very much.
Well, we're getting near the end. Thank you, Minister Fir. And thank you to your government and the people of Alberta for supporting this project. Thank you for your continued leadership in support of Contemporary Calgary. We will now invite our speakers and special guests to the stage for an official photograph. So we're kind of concluding the program. There will be refreshments after this part, so you can get up and stretch or start to wander around where we